Where are those Phillies at? Where are those Phillies? Oh, there they are. That's right, guys. Welcome into the Fightins Final. I'm Big Al. He's Matty B. And Phillies decided to play some baseball tonight. Matty B, 8-2 victory final. They break off this possible sweep in LA. And they live to fight another day. The question will be probably tonight in a lot of people's minds, was this fool's gold, or can they make that that really improbable comeback and go 3 straight games and win the NLDS here and head off to the NLCS? Matty, what did you see tonight? Good, bad, and the ugly.
Well, I mean, this is basically a snapshot of the Phillies season when it works, right? When the offense is working correctly, this is how they look. I don't think anybody has ever. I know there's a few fools out there that have said the Phillies didn't have the pitching. Pitching has not been the problem for this baseball team all season, and it continues to be a dominant factor in the postseason. But it's always, to me, been the offense. It always comes down to what they're doing at the plate. And tonight, though they ended up blowing them out, Al, it was a little gitchy early on as they wasted opportunities early on. But when they start combining the long ball and the small ball, they're moving around runners, they're bunting people, sack flies. I mean, when they're incorporating all of the fundamental baseball offensively, there's really no team, and I've said this before, there's no team out there better than them when they're doing that. The problem is we just don't see it enough, and we don't see it consistently enough, and they've waited till game 3 of the postseason to make an offensive debut. Is it too little, too late? It's a fool's gold, as you say. You're living every game now by the inning. We just got to kind of move forward. Pitching, Nola, Suarez, dominant. Offense, and then it took off and it did what it had to do. Now defense, Phillies defense is scaring me in the postseason. There was a couple of plays tonight, and I'll go to the Brandon Marsh, Trey Turner in the 6th inning, the shallow fly ball in the center field. Marsh is coming in, Turner's going out. You can hear Marsh yelling, "Get away!" He's calling him off. That's the center fielder's play all along. Marsh pulls up at the very end, allows the base hit to go in. They get a double play eventually a couple pitches later, but that's the kind of stuff in the postseason that can't happen, man. Turner, get out of there. That's not your play. So I'm a little concerned about the defense, happy about the offensive debut, and the pitching continues to be the most consistent thing about the Phillies in 2025.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for a struggling Clayton Kershaw in the returning out 7th to the 8th inning,
Old Man River,
5 of those 8, hey, was the Father Time is the undefeated, the old saying. But 5 runs, they pretty much conceded the loss at that point. They left him out there to kind of take some pitches so they didn't have to waste any other of their pitching staff. And brings you to your 8-2 victory because Taijuan Walker came out and couldn't get through one stinking inning. Where's Walker Buehler? Unless they're really saving him for tomorrow and they're going to do the same kind of idea and have Walker Buehler take a big, 3-4 innings or whatever it is they're going to do. But we'll find out. Listen, this start of this game had a lot of game 1 feel to it, in the sense that, okay, you go up 3 in the 4th inning. 3-1 after Ranger gives up that first pitch home run, and then it's crickets for the next 3 straight innings. They had opportunities during those innings, bases loaded. Alec Boehm intentionally walked twice to get to Brandon Marsh, but you're like, oh, they can't capitalize. One run on bases loaded, 2 guys on, no outs. You saw the blunder of a run from, I think it was more Trey Turner than it was Kyle Schwarber. Even though Kyle Schwarber was the one out, the ball got loose.
Keying off of Turner.
He was going off on Turner.
Yeah.
Turner hit the brakes, returned. Of course, Schwarber, not as fleet as foot as Trey Turner, couldn't turn. Mack trucks don't take 90-degree turns like that. And that's what we saw today. So that is the problems that they're going to have, and they need to minimize. And that's the thing is we talked right off air before we came on, and we said my problem with this team is they have been their own worst enemy. Big time. This whole postseason, I'm not sitting there being cliche and saying, "Oh, the Phillies beat themselves," but it really has been for the most part. I mean, the Dodgers hitting has been very good. Their starting pitching has been very good. Their bullpen, if you get to it, is very suspect. I mean, look at they're not even using many bullpen pieces. They're using starters in the bullpen to minimize the need for bullpen guys. But the Phillies have shot themselves in the foot in game 1, game 2, and now, almost seemed like they tried to do it in game 3, but this time they were able to put an onslaught of hits. And a lot of it came from the top guys who we all criticized because they were 2 for 20 something coming into this game. So, I mean, 8-2 victory, you have to take your victory lap there, but you got to be able to wipe it off and come back and you need to tie it up and you need to bring it back to Philly. Now, Matty B, with that being said, the Nick Castellanos comments, which I have a feeling I know where your thoughts are going to go with this. Was it good for them to get away from CBP, or is that just Nick Castellanos head up his own ass?
Well, they got to come back to CBP if they want to win a World Series.
There's no way around it, yeah.
So unless Nick Castellanos gets on the phone and calls Mike Schmidt and asks him where that Wiegand sunglasses were that he used the last time somebody spouted off against the fans. Now, that's Mike Schmidt, the greatest player in franchise history. Yeah, he's got a little bit more of a clout to stand on than Nick Castellanos. That's going to be a story in itself if they can get things back to Game 5 of how the fans will receive Nick Castellanos and Alec Bohm as well. That's a whole other story inside of this that we're obviously going to have to hopefully wait and see. But getting away from CBP, no, Al, come on, man. I mean, listen, it's the 12th man, the 10th batter, whatever you want to call it, that home field advantage. It's nothing like it. What did Freeman say the other night? That's the craziest place he's ever played a baseball game in his entire career. Freddie Freeman's been in some big time games with some big time clubs.
Spent a lot of time at CBP, so he, right. for a guy who has not played in the Phillies for organization, he spent between the Braves and the Dodgers. He's been there quite often.
Exactly, and you gotta you live for those types of environments as a player, and I guarantee you the umpires were feeding off that energy. It's just an electric place to be, and that's why you get into sports in the first place, to be in a situation like that. So
take notice to the Dodgers behind home plate for most of that game. Those seats were half empty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Those high-priced seats. I mean, they kept flashing to Magic Johnson and Sandy Koufax and all that stuff. Especially when Clayton Kershaw came out. They always hit up a movie star because they're in L.A. But my point is, you couldn't buy you can't get a seat at the tippity top of CBP, and you're in LA and you got open seats, and it's an atrocity. It really is.
It is.
So
it's an atrocity.
For Nick Castellanos to say those words is literally just sealed your deal to get the hell out of town.
Right. And then again, if you want to win a World Series, you got to go home.
Even if they go and win the World Series, they somehow overcome this deficit, go win the NLCS, go to the World Series, win it all, and he becomes the MVP of the World Series, I still think he's gone.
No, and because you can't, there's one part of Philadelphia sports that you never piss off, and that's the fans.
It's your money, bud.
When the fans turn on you, it's done. It's over. When they turn on you, it's over. And
it'd be the equivalent of you walking into work and spitting in your boss's face.
Exactly. And the only player
what to do, but the reason, guys like me who buy the jerseys and the postseason hats and all that stuff, that's why you get paid $25,000 or $25 million a year to play a kid's game.
The only player I've seen come back from that is the greatest player in franchise history. He's probably the only one who could do that, and that's Mike Schmidt. He's the only one who came back from that. But nobody else has ever come back.
But how did he do it? He simply said at his speech, I screwed up. You guys screwed up. Let's just call it even and be bygones and move forward. I mean, and he called it out. Like, he didn't blame us. He didn't just take on himself. He said, listen, you weren't happy with me. I wasn't happy with you. I'm over it. I just want to move forward. I want to be your guy, and that's it. So, listen, I'm over him. I'm over Casty. I feel like the only reason he's playing is because of Bader's injury. Do you think Bader's able to play tomorrow? Do you think they're able to push him into playing center field tomorrow, especially after what they saw with the play of Brandon Marsh in center field?
I don't know. I guess he's not ruled out, so they're going to use him if they have to. I say they'll probably continue that whole if they have to go to him, they'll go to him. I don't think he starts tomorrow. Game 5 probably. I think they're going to. I mean, the hamstrings, they're weird injuries. I don't know if you can hurt it. Well, yeah, you can tear it. I mean, you can.
Yeah, you can definitely hurt it more.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think they got to kind of. I think they're going to kind of play it with year by year. I don't think he starts tomorrow, but I think he's available if needed.
Yeah, I mean, the Rockaway saying Bader's done for the year. Groin hamstring needs weeks of rest. Now they were saying he was, able to move around. He just not able to cover center field as he should be able to.
Yeah, like push off.
So maybe if he's able to cover left field, do you put him in left field and move and keep Brandon Marsh out there just to have his bat in the order?
Again, if we need to, yeah. I mean, if it comes down to it, if the season's on the line, I don't know defensively if he's an option. Offensively, he is an option if the season comes down to it, and the a la Jake Cave situation. At least we'll have a better bat that we can rely on. No, I don't think defensively. I think defensively he's a liability right now, a liability that we can't afford when we have zero room for error at this point. So I don't see him defensively helping the team out, but a pinch hitter, absolutely, if need be. Then maybe we reassess coming back for game 5. So, but yeah, I think defensively he's too much of a liability.
So tomorrow, if they win, game 5 would be Saturday, right?
Game 5 would be Saturday, yeah.
Okay. So for those who are just joining us, the Phillies stay off the what looked like could have been a sweep in the NLDS against the Dodgers, winning 8-2. All 8 runs coming in the fourth and fifth inning, or fourth and eighth inning, for an 8-2 victory. Let's look at this box score real quick, because this was where the difference maker is in my eyes, is this top 3 especially. I mean, when they're playing well, you pitch more relaxed. Your other bats are more relaxed. They're more patient at the plate, and we saw that tonight. So let's look at this. Trey Turner was 3 for 5 tonight with 1 run scored and 2 RBIs. The one key factors I want you guys to keep, we'll go over the total at the end, but the strikeouts was also a big thing. They were putting the ball in the play. Schwarber was 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored, 3 RBIs, a walk and a strikeout, and 1 massive, the biggest, or the longest home run of this 2025 postseason at 455, like just almost out of the park type of launch. But also had the second one at the end of the night too, when Kershaw was just imploding. Bohm was 2 for 3 tonight with 1 run, 2 intentional walks, not just walks, but intentional walks. They fully intentionally walked him the first time. They pitched around him 3 pitches, then just gave him the 4th and sent him on his way. Brandon Marsh was 0 for 4 tonight with 1 RBI and 1 strikeout. JT Realmuto was 2 for 5 tonight. That's right, BCIB, baby. 1 run, 1 RBI. Of course, that home run is where the RBI came in, and 1 strikeout. Max Kepler was 0 for 3 with 1 run scored and 2 walks. Just good to see Max get on base in my eyes in that sense. 0 for 5 with 1 run scored for Nick Castellanos and a strikeout. And Bryson Stott was 1 for 3 tonight for a total of 36 at-bats. That's 8 runs off of 12 hits, 7 of them earned, 6 walks, and only 4, yes, count them, 4 strikeouts for your Fighting Phils, that's probably the lowest I think we've seen it all year for them.
That was a low total. And, you mentioned the 1 through 3 or 1 through 4. I'll go better. 1 through 6, 11 for 24, 11 hits, 3 homers, 7 RBIs, and a 458 batting average. That's when it's working correctly. And then when you mix in the pitching that you got tonight, there's really no many teams out there that can beat the Phillies in that case.
Yeah. Now, question to you, and I'm going to kind of going off what the Rockaways here saying, can we talk about why Bryce tried to score? They got thrown out at home by a mile. His focus is totally gone. With where they were at, how up they are, just trying to tack on more runs. Did you agree with the aggressiveness of Bryce Harper, even maybe if you didn't agree with him going at that time?
No, 100%. I mean, they were pouring it on. He pouring it on. The way the pitching was, I'm okay with that. Now, I did not see, though, now that I think about it, did Dusty hold him? Did he run through it? I didn't see what was the call out on third base.
He got him on his leg.
No, but did Dusty Woff hold him at third, or did he send him?
I don't remember seeing that because, I don't remember if he held him or not. That's a good question.
But that to me would be the bigger problem because he doesn't listen. Nobody listens to Dusty Wolfman. So but no, in essence, no, of course I don't. They were feeling it, and it was 7-1 at the time. No, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I am too. You're 7-1. The pitcher is stirring. You're trying to tack on, and you're trying to just deflate this Dodgers team because that place was loud for as many open seats as they had in the beginning. But after about the third, fourth inning, after that home run, and then they came back and scored 3 more runs at the top of the fourth, it got quiet and never really picked back up from there.
Absolutely. And I didn't see the dog with the sunglasses. I was waiting to see him all night. Where the hell was he at?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. The dog with the LA Dodgers sunglasses. That's who I was looking to see.
Saw our boy, the Philly sports guy. He was there. He was all painted.
Oh, Jamie was there? I didn't see him out there.
Was there.
Really?
They flashed to Jamie. I text him like, you're on TV, as you usually are. I was like messing with him. He's like, thanks, bud. Thanks for letting me know. Now let's dish the stats back to the Dodgers. Ohtani, Freeman. All right, so you want to go through that? Fine. Ohtani was 0 for 5 tonight. That's right, 0 for 5 with 1 strikeout. Mookie Betts still continues to be a thorn in the side at 2 for 4 tonight. Hernandez was 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Freddie Freeman 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Will Smith was 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Kike 1 for 2 with 1 run scored and 2 walks. Max Muncy, who also had a big flub in that 8th inning, which also helped out a lot, was 2 for 4 tonight. Paez was 0 for 2 tonight, and then Rojas came in. He was 0 for 1. Dean then came in for him. I don't think he even batted tonight. And then Edman was 2 for 4 with 1 run scored and 2 RBIs. So all your RBIs came from the bottom, the 9th hole hitter in Edman. And let's talk about this. Let's talk about Aaron Nola for a second. What's up, Rye? Yes, you got the dynamic duo back. This is the first time we've been together on something like this for a while, hasn't it?
I can't tell you the last show we did like that.
Yeah.
When was the last post game we did?
Together? Last season? Probably last season.
That's been a minute.
I don't even know because there wasn't many post games to do last season after their quick exit. Aaron Nola, 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. Just outside of maybe that first inning where he let up a couple, made it a little bit more nerve-wracking than it should have been. But other than that, he was really good.
Yeah.
Do you agree with taking him out at that point and putting in Suarez, or should you let him go one more inning and maybe Suarez could have got 8 total altogether, and then you would only have to have Banks or somebody come in and close it all out?
I hate bullpen games. I hate the whole concept of a bullpen game, and I really hate it in the playoffs. I don't know. I have a problem, but Major League Baseball teams not being able to field the starting rotation for the playoffs. But I got to get past that because it's a thing of the present. But also, you got to look at the Nola thing from the outside looking in, from a casual Phillies fans or even a casual baseball fans perspective. Aaron Nola is one of your aces. He's the 1B to 1A. You just gave him a lot of money, and now you don't even trust him to pitch 3 innings in a playoff game. That's more concerning for me, and I see that from that point of view. Nola was really good, but you're right, Al. We were all waiting for that other shoe to drop because it was probably going to drop in the 3rd inning.
Well, but it was pretty much they went around the lineup. That was it. There's one time around the lineup.
Right, he went through it once, and then that was it. But that's a bigger it's something to a bigger problem that's not going away. And if they do advance, Noah's going to find himself possibly in another situation deeper in the playoffs, and then going forward into next season, for God's sakes, because we can't get rid of him. He's locked in. So it's a symptom to a bigger problem. We got to live for the day at this particular moment in time.
Yeah.
It worked, but I'm just not comfortable with the Nola, who he is right now. I don't buy the injury. I think this is what Nola is, and he's got to figure out how to pitch differently. To overcome the velocity problems in the future. But for the plan tonight, it worked amazingly. They got Nola out in 2 innings. Then Ranger comes in, gives up a home run on his first pitch. But then after that, it was domination.
And the timing was hilarious because if watching the broadcast, they're talking to Topper going, Nola pitched really good. He goes, yeah, now I could get Ranger. And they're like, well, how far do you think Ranger's going to take? He goes, 70, 80, 90 pitches. And literally within seconds after he said that, clack, home run, and you're just like, oh, here we like. It's just like game one, just your stomach sank. Now with the Nola situation, I don't know. I'm not 100% sold if it isn't part of the injury. I mean, a rib injury is a nagging injury, so that can affect your velocity, even though he's probably doing better than he was when he originally had it. You know, an off season can make a difference, but he is also getting older. So, and he has a lot of mileage on him. So I wouldn't be surprised if you have to make some adjustments the way he pitches. I'll let Jamie Moyer, not like too Jamie Moyer-esque, but not too different. Let's see. Ryan's asking, who do you think excited me the most tonight? It's only got one hit, but he's been doing all series and 3 times tonight despite only getting one hit. The rest of the guys need to follow what he does. One hit tonight. That was the only person with one hit tonight was
Stott.
Yeah. Is it because he's taking more pitches? Is that what you're asking, Ryan?
I think it's because he's settled in nicely at that 9 spot in the lineup where he belongs.
Well, that's the thing. The problem is I always feel like, I mean, it's not just Tomper, but a lot of managers do this. Well, if he starts doing better, we can move him up to the 7th spot. I'm like, no. Yeah. He's doing well because he's in that 9 spot. And I like having that speed at the bottom of the order. Like, I didn't understand the whole when Bader in game 1 being, what was it, 7 hole was he in?
Yeah.
Like I just thought like the way he took over for Trey Turner when Trey Turner was out in most of September, I literally thought it was going to be Turner, Bader, Harper, Schwarber, JT, Bo Marsh, Castellanos, Stott type, lineup. I don't know. I don't understand it. I didn't understand the point of it. I really I still won't get it why they do that. Like, it was working, and you have speed. He's a good base runner. He gets on base. Why wouldn't you want him towards the top of your order? And Stott continues to hit the way he does. It doesn't really leave too many gaps in your lineup. I just don't get it.
And that's been one of the more frustrating things about Rob Thompson in his tenure was his inability to really kind of just come up with a lineup and stick with it. He's always, as you say, he's always trying to promote people up through the lineup when they get hot. That doesn't necessarily equal, staying hot. If you're hot in the 9 hole, that doesn't mean you're going to be hot in the 2 hole. It really doesn't. So that is one of the more frustrating things. I think Stott led off 37 times this past season, and it really didn't work. And they've been bouncing him around they're all around the lineup. The Bohm experiment at 4 still to me doesn't work. I don't think that we can't go forward with that. Something's got to change there.
Even if he was just hitting more consistently, which he's 333 in the postseason. Him and Trey have both 333. The only person hitting better than him is a 385 with JT Realmuto. It still doesn't. I don't know.
Doesn't pass the eye test.
You're intentionally walking Alec Bohm.
Yeah.
You're putting the giraffe on the base path so you can get the Brandon Marsh because you don't have, again,
no protection.
It's no protection. But if you had, now this is when he wasn't injured, but if you had Bader at 2, that means you can have JT protecting Schwarber and then Marsh protecting JT. And Bohm should be like right before, you could probably 6 or 7, 8, you could flip Bohm or Castellanos in my eyes, depending on pitching matchups. Now, Rockaway sitting here saying, just start Ranger and bring Nola in from the bullpen, blah, blah, blah. No. And the reason is Ranger has done this before. That's what I'm trying to tell people. Like, Nola's never done from the bullpen before. Ranger knows what to do there. It was smart. Nola's known for getting 3 to 4 innings, and he starts to implode somewhere. Let him get his 3 or 4 innings. And then bring this is the one thing, 2 in this case. Yeah, but I mean, this is one thing where I agreed with Tomper. If you're going to do this way, I wouldn't have done it the other way around. It wouldn't have made sense.
Yeah. I don't like the concept of a bullpen game in the playoffs. I don't. But I mean, if they had to do it, this was the way to do it.
2 starters.
Yeah, it's a bullpen game. Come on. It was a bullpen game because they had also at one point Banks getting up to warm up, like in the 3rd or 4th inning when Rangers gave up that opening home run. Or before Suarez came in, they had a litany of pitchers throwing out there. And that's another thing. And I get it, the way it broke the series did, but with all the days off the series has been, it totally like every we had a game, a day off, a game, a day off. This was the only part of the series where you're playing back-to-back games, and this is the game you chose to have a bullpen game where you're going to blow out or try to extend your bullpen. Now it worked out, and they didn't actually have to blow out the bullpen, but I just don't understand that either. But It worked, and I'm not going to sit here and try to troubleshoot Rob for winning. At this stage of the series, at this stage of the season, whatever works, it works at this point. But look at Kershaw. Let's look at the Dodgers for a second. Old man River there. What the hell is he doing out there? And he's throwing up gopher balls. I mean, it was batting practice at one point with the Phillies. You're never going to see Kershaw again in this series. He's probably not in the postseason. This was it. This was his swan song.
They didn't even have him. They didn't even have him on in the bullpen for the NL or for the wild card.
Right. So for some reason they gave him this game to say goodbye to the fans, but you're not going to have that rely. You're not going to be able to rely on Kershaw tomorrow night. So all the opportunities that the Phillies missed earlier in this game, maybe they don't get a chance to make up for those opportunities against whomever they put in tomorrow as a reliever. So
this is don't expect tomorrow to be like tonight,
absolutely
on either side. I think it's going to be a clench your butt cheeks, 3-1, 2-1 victory for whoever pulls it out. Eagles fans saying good win for the Phillies tonight. Kyle finally shows up. I knew it. Phillies in 5. I don't know if I'm going to crack the champagne on that just yet or
quite yet.
Put the house on it. But let me ask you a question, Matty B. How are you feeling if they do pull off a victory tomorrow? It's a 2-2. It's a game 5 back here at CBP in South Philadelphia, and which is supposed to be kind of a cold fall night. Maybe even a little rainy. I heard possibly on Saturday. If they get back to Philly, where are you pointing that the win at? Do you think the Phillies have a good chance of pulling that off?
Well, 1-6 at CBP in their last 7 home playoff games. Nick Castellanos is going to have to answer for his comments in front of the faithful. Yohan Duran's going to come out to his theme music when they're down 9-0. I don't know.
That was who. I guarantee some of you are starting to go, no, just like force.
They did it twice, though. They did it on 2 nights.
I know. It was dumb. It was dumb.
I don't know.
It's one of those things called read the room.
Yeah. 2022. If this was 2022, at 100%, we're winning Game 5. I don't know where the mystique of CBP has gone. Got Luzardo pitching. Probably go up against Otani.
2023.
Well, no, 2023 they lost those last 2 games at home. That's when the
that's
magic
what I'm
game.
saying. That's where the mystique lost. It was lost in 2023. They came back from Arizona and it hasn't been found since. Right. It was hiding with Gritty under the steps in the Wells Fargo or whatever it's called now, Xfinity X Mobile or whatever it is called.
I would say, first of all, if they do get back to town, if that's a must ticket right there. If you have an opportunity to go to that game, that's going to be something you can tell your grandkids about. That's going to be some. Mm-hmm. That's going to be an atmosphere down there for Game 5.
Unless you spend them like $1,000 to go and they get freaking shelves.
Yeah. There's 14 nothing.
You're not telling the grandkids that one. You know what? Grandpa spent rent money on a game that the Phillies got shelled in. Oh yeah, Grandma didn't talk to Grandpa for a month.
But just a whole, like as you say, a few years ago, we're going back for Game 5. It's a lock, man. But now, I don't know. I mean, maybe they're better off out on the road, honestly. So. I don't know.
Let's hit a couple more of these. Ryan saying on WIP last night, I forgot who it was with TK. He said he's expecting Nola to only go around the lineup once, and Suarez would come out and after that and face the lefties. It worked out exactly as he said. Well, I mean, listen, it didn't take a rocket scientist to figure that's what was going to go on. I mean, I've been talking about it in my Friday postgame shows. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the way it works, especially in a 5-game series when you don't need as many starters. So, I mean, that makes sense. Knowing Nola, how shaky he can be, and when he's on, he's on. But when he gets off bad. And I really didn't think he was going to make it past the first inning because they actually had Tanner Banks warming up then initially before they even were ready to bring Ranger in.
He threw 27 first inning pitches.
Mm-hmm.
Then he had a 1-2-3 second. So, yeah, absolutely.
So, I think with Nola, also a psychological issue along with a nagging injury. Yeah, I mean, it definitely has to be. I mean, listen, when if you're in decline or if you're having an injury, either way, it's going to psychologically bother you. Mikey P. JT is going opposite field always. He's really pulling the ball. I mean, that's what's made him a better hitter. And I don't know if that's where in June when he really started picking up again, he was. If you look at his hit map, his heat map, whatever you want to call it, he has definitely spread the ball around the field. So. That's what you have to do this day and age to survive. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. JT's no youngster anymore, but he's still quick on his feet. he still calls a hell of a game. He's defensively one of the best catchers still in baseball for the most part, top 5 at least. And if he can just spray the ball around and doesn't have to worry about hitting for power, I don't care if he ever hits another home run again. Was it fun to watch tonight? Absolutely. Had me pounding my chest. But it's, that's what he needs to do. That's what we would need him to do. That's what we need them all to do. As we can see, the hits will come. And Schwarber had 2 of them tonight. JT had one tonight. 3 home runs. That the pitcher, and Yamamoto is a really damn good pitcher. Coming into this, he was top, really top pitcher. Like, it did not look from a matchup standpoint on paper. If you're setting down some shillings at one of the many online betting casinos, you're not feeling super positive about putting any runs up on him. And then it happened that way. But it also happened with who was a pitcher the last game? I might completely blank it. Snell, yeah. They were able to get to Snell at one point, and they didn't do it. And they didn't capitalize on it enough. Phillies, if the Phillies do lose later today, my wish will come true, and Robbie will be gone. Good question. Is that the nail in the coffin for Rob Thompson if they get this exit, especially the way the first 2 games have went, Matty B?
It comes down to me to be the easiest sacrifice to the fan altar would be the manager, because the rest of those players is going to take some doing to try to get some of those guys gone. Rossi's going to have to do a PR move, and that Rob Thompson is low-hanging fruit to fire him. That's an easy one. And yes, it'll be definitely done. But it won't be like he's been relieved of his duties. If Rob Thompson's decided to retire and he's going to move off to greener pastures somewhere else. Rob Thompson is history if the Phillies do not, at a minimum, get to the World Series.
If they pull off the miracle and they come back, win the NLC DS, go to the CS, and they lose in the CS, is Rob still, is he safe?
No, I don't think so. Honestly.
No. So is it all or nothing for Rob, or at least World Series?
You got to think it is, and more for Dave Dombrowski than anything else. I mean, he kept, because if they would have lost tonight, and I still, maybe not so much, but I was getting ready to say this tonight. If they would have gotten swept, that to me is still the regression, because even though they didn't go to the wild card this year because they qualify for the NLDS, but if they got swept out of the NLDS, that's a regression from last season, because at least they won 1 game in the NLDS last year, but now they get swept. So the regression continues. But now, you can honestly say if they lose tomorrow, well, they didn't regress. They just didn't move any forward, but that's not going to be enough to save them. They're going to have to get to the World Series to save Rob Thompson's job. They honestly will.
So bare minimum, get to the series.
Yeah.
Okay.
To save
Brian says, wait, JT got 2 hits, not 1. 2 hits, not 1. Never mind. But who excites me was the opposite field approach. Rockaway, yeah, but Nolan melts down in the first inning like Chernobyl. He can melt. He has a inning. It's not always the first or second or third. It's usually like in a normal game. It's usually like the second time around after he gets around the when he hits that third time around the lineup is when he starts to or he has somebody on the base pass. It's a mental thing, because that's why I don't think it's so much a regression of Aaron Nola, because it's more, to me, it looks like it's a mental state of his. When he gets guys on the base, he just seems to struggle more. Like, he can do it fine when there's nobody on the base for the most part. He always gives up that one long ball, which I guess in 2 innings he was able not to do. I guess he was just trying to keep the ball in the yard, and then here comes Ranger Suarez first pitch, and just does his best Aaron Nola impression.
His stuff all season hasn't looked the same. It hasn't. None of it. His fastball, his breaking stuff, none of that to me has looked the same. Now, to his credit, he was melting down tonight in the first inning. He was starting to, but he found a way to get out of that. Again, 27 pitches in the inning. I was expecting, oh no. I mean, they were hitting them. They were moving runners along. I was like, this is going to be a 3-0 first inning. This game's over right here. And Nola pitched out of it. And you got to give that to him. However he did it, whatever he found to get through it, he got out of that. And then he stabilized for that second inning. So, yeah, you can be critical of him. I am critical of him. but he found a way not to melt down in that first inning, at least tonight.
Yeah, sure. Roberts gave up on the game when Kershaw, when he sent Kershaw out. I disagree with that.
But why then for Kershaw? Kershaw's done, and he knows it. We know it. Everybody knows it. Why was Kershaw put in this game?
Why was Kershaw put in for a second inning?
That's my point. Well, we'll get to that in a second. But why did they go to him? Was it not a concession of the game, but a victory tour for Kershaw, the pitch? Because if they lost
I think
this game,
a little bit of that, but
series.
yeah, I think it's a little bit of that. I more believe that they're only down 3-1 with his resume and the abilities of what Clayton Kershaw can do. They probably felt that comfortable, and then he kind of, again, the Phillies wasted an opportunity. They could have scored on him in the first inning. Don't do that, of course. And then, but that was the second time around. That's hubris right there. Like, oh, Clayton Kershaw get out of it. We'll just send him back out. Like, I don't know if you're giving up the GOAT in that situation, but you're at this time. I think you're just playing with fire, and he did that last game too. They could have sent out their closer. What's his name? Rokusaki, as I call him.
Sasaki, yeah.
Sasaki. But if anybody knows where Rokusaki comes from, say in the chat. I'd be very shocked if you get that one. But like, they could have sent him out, and then they didn't, and they gave the Phillies a chance to come back. And Roberts should be getting a little heat now. Two games in a row. He almost gave up game 2, and now I want to say gave up game 1, but he really pushed the limits and made it look like he did.
Yeah, and those are the types of moves that they sometimes come back and bite you on the ass. And I know Kershaw, again, he's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest pitchers of all time. But I was shocked they brought him. I'm like, what the hell are they bringing Kershaw out here? They weren't up 8-1. They were down 3-1. I mean, I could see him coming in an 8-1 lead, but it made no sense from a baseball standpoint to pitch Kershaw there. Unless Roberts conceding the game somewhat, trying to save his bullpen for game 4. I mean,
maybe that's it. I still don't think you could see. What I think was, again, a little hubris in this situation. He goes, I'm going to say, like most people, I think if Rob Thompson was doing this, you saw how he's having short hooks. If this was if it was flipped around, after he kind of didn't do too well for those first 3 batters, but because he's Clayton, I think once you put out Clayton Kershaw, you can't hook Clayton Kershaw. And it's kind of like, you can't do that to Clayton Kershaw. And I kind of think he got himself stuck. But the second inning made no sense. And that's where it all came up. That's where it all unraveled. Like that. Like I mean, listen, they weren't going to win this game because most likely you're not putting in Taijuan Walker in a 3-1 game. If it stayed that way, it would have been John
Walker
Duran.
Buehler. It would have been Buehler.
Well,
no, late in the inning, it would have been Duran. They could have played his theme music at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, that'd been fun. But my point is, they probably would have lost 3-1, but they would have most likely. That made no sense. And here's his line: 2 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 3 walks, and 2 home runs he gave up. He has in the postseason now Clayton Kershaw with an 18 ERA. That's pretty damning. Papernick saying here: Turner, Bader, Schwarber, Harper, Bohm, Realmuto, Kepler, Nick, and Stott. If you're Bader's not an option as of right now.
You're going to bat Schwarber in front of Harper?
Yeah, that's the one I would flip around.
Well, they're doing that right now because Schwarber's batting second, right? So Harper's batting third. Isn't that how it makes no sense? It makes no sense. But.
Yeah, I don't get it. But real quick, let's look at the pitching. Like I said, Nola went 2 innings, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. That was his line for the night in 2 innings. Suarez went 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, the 1 earned, which was that 1 solo shot that he gave up in this first pitch of the first at bat. 1 walk, and Kerkering. Do you think Kerkering's kind of settling down now? He just had I know it's only been a handful. It's a small sample size, but he had zeros across the board for his outing tonight. Taiwan Walker went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, a walk, and a strikeout. And Banks came in, closed out in the 1/3 of the inning for a total 9 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, and the 1 solo shot Ranger gave up. On the other side of the stat line, Yamamoto went 4 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, of course, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, and 1 home run. Banda went 1 inning, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Banda's their bullpen, their actual bullpen. And their actual bullpen did a lot better than their not actual bullpen because here comes Dreyer, who was 1 inning and 1 walk, and that was it. Like I told you about Kershaw, 2 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 3 walks, and 2 home runs. And is it Treinen? Treinen? I think it's Treinen, right?
Treinen.
Or Treinen, yeah, we say it wrong. He's 37 years old. You had back-to-back 37-year-olds.
Well, yeah, at that point they were done.
Yeah, at that point they're just waste. Yeah, but he zeros stat line, so that's what you want. But they gave up 12 hits off of 8 runs, 7 of them earned, 6 walks, 4 strikeouts, only 4 strikeouts, and 3 jacks. And it should have been most likely, like I said, bare minimum 12-1 victory, not 8-1. Because the Phillies there was a couple shoot themselves like they were trying to give the game away. The error on the base path, the bases loaded, and then you had 2 guys in scoring position, and with 1 out, and you can't score 1 guy. That happens again, you're not going to have this type of victory. If you want to win again. I think somebody had the win in here. I think it was Michael Papernick. Yeah, he has the Phillies winning tomorrow 5-3, which I sure hope he's correct. But they're not going to be able to keep doing those mistakes. Need to be rectified and just erased.
Yeah, Kershaw's not going to make an appearance tomorrow. He's not going to throw 48 pitches in 2 innings tomorrow, and they're not going to be able to sort of ride that wave. But yeah, 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position. They're batting .217 in the series with runners in scoring position. That continues to haunt them. And strikeouts are up again. Today was really good. Only 4 strikeouts for the game. I mean, that's outstanding. Dodgers pitching walked 6 Phillies batters. Again, you can't expect that tomorrow. I think Glasnow's going for the Dodgers tomorrow in Game 4. I think that's what I saw. Sanchez versus Glasnow. So you're not going to get 6 walks out of him. They're just going to have to continue to try to capitalize. Again, this is like a broken record, man. I've been saying this stuff for 4 years. They just can't leave ducks on the pond. They can't leave runners in scoring position. They got to find a way to find runs any way they possibly can. They showed you tonight they're capable of sack flying. They're capable of bunting. They're capable of double stealing. Well, kind of. I mean, they know how to do it, or at least it's in their playbook. Mm-hmm. They got to be more. It's the playoffs, man. You're living literally.
You got to show life. You got to be aggressive. Yeah. I've watched most of all games that have been played since the wild card. Any ones I have had time to watch when they weren't overlapping, do the dual screens. You've seen my basement as the 3 screens, and I've watched, at least kept my eyes on everything for the most part. And every team, even the ones that are out already, have been showing aggression and life. The Phillies just seemed lifeless up until a late like last inning. Like it's almost like I really feel like if they go back and lose this, Roberts is going to have to go back and look at himself and say, I gave them life in that second game, even though we were able to win it. I gave them life, and it carried over to LA to Game 3, and so on and so forth. And let's do this real quick. Let's look at your postseason. I mean, we would normally do around the bases right now, but we're not going to because there's it's the playoff picture. So let's look at said playoff picture right now. As you know, the Phillies and Dodgers are down 2-1. They have Game 4 tomorrow. Right now, Milwaukee's leading the Cubs 2-1. Cubs win today. The Tigers and Mariners are now tied 2-2. So Game 5 will be the telltale to see who will be meeting the Toronto Blue Jays, who just beat the Yankees today, winning that series 3-1. And so they will find out after this Game 5. It would be either Toronto and Mariners versus the Toronto Blue Jays. What do you see in those games right now? Like, what do you who are you feeling right now in this postseason? If you're not looking at the Phillies, of course.
Well, I know this is the first time since 1993 the Blue Jays have been back to the ALCS, and that
You
scares
have
me
to
because
bring that up, huh?
I don't want to
You,
see Phillies and Blue Jays in the World
could you
Series.
imagine? Could you
I
imagine?
do not want that at all. I don't
You know
want
how
that
many guys
juju.
over the age of like I guess 35 to 37 are gonna walk around with ticks? Like just like the drinking would be rampant more than usual. Psychiatry appointments will be made in like it just if that happens, it will just be. I still got I think PTSD. Can you have PTSD from that long ago?
Does Mitch Williams throw out the first pitch in game
With
one?
that wow. Wow.
Oh man,
That
and
would
Joe
be funny.
Carter up there in Toronto. That would be. Listen, it's got a lot of great drama, and it would be
Listen,
great TV.
I would I would not. I would not blame Toronto for doing that. It would be
Yeah, for
pretty
Joe
stupid for
Carter,
the Phillies, but
absolutely.
to rub it like the first game in Toronto,
Yep.
oh yeah. Oh, I'd do that in a heartbeat. If it was if the shoe was on the other foot, oh hell yes.
Yeah.
Now I screw you, Joe Carter. But if I'm Toronto and I'm trying to like needle us, that's where I'm going. Because listen, half these guys on this team are too young to even know who Joe Carter, like to understand that, even if they were from Philly or not. But the rest of us, 35 plus old Phillies fans, we know him very well.
And the lead up to that World Series would be over and over again. Touch them all, Joe. Touch them all, Joe. You'll be seeing that over and over. I don't want that. I don't want that juju. But Seattle, Detroit. I think Detroit still is a very good baseball team, and they're starting to get hot again. I still think Detroit finds their way into the World Series. I think they're the best team in the American League. I know Seattle's got the big number and all that, but I love Detroit. Scooble is the real thing, and Detroit's a very balanced offensive team. They're not going to come at you with one or two players. They're going to come at you with nine. I just like Detroit's game. That if they get past Seattle, Detroit, Toronto is going to be a great series. But I still like Detroit coming out of the American League.
If the Phillies were just to pull off the improbable, come back and win this series, win the NLCS versus either the Cubs or the Brewers, which looks like right now could be the Brewers. They're playing some good baseball. Yeah. But if they somehow make it to the World Series here in 2025, Matty B, of these teams, who do you want the Phillies to go against?
I mean,
who would match up best?
Oh, match up best? Seattle, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Toronto, again, I'm a big fan of superstition, and I don't want that. I don't want that. I know a lot of people are like, oh, revenge. No, I don't want that. I don't want it. I want to stay away from all that. Yeah, I want to stay away from all that Toronto stuff. And Detroit's just really balanced. So Seattle, I mean, we handled Seattle pretty well. We handled Detroit too, but no, I think Seattle will be the better matchup. Now, the only problem is going cross country, but there'll be days off in between all that. So yeah, it would be Seattle for me.
Okay. So tomorrow, guys, you got me again because
big day tomorrow.
Game 4 is a thing. So let's look at tomorrow. Let's get a touch on what Thursday's going to look at.
This really doesn't even give it justice here.
Yeah, but just focus in on for a second on Thursday there, because you better put on your It's a Wrap Sports hat, buckle in with your It's a Wrap Sports belt buckle, and grab a big old gulp, a full soda beverage, whatever it is of choice, that says It's a Wrap real big on the side, and a big old It's a Wrap double cheeseburger, as we call the gobbler here on the menu, because you ain't going anywhere, pal. You better get out that the phone, the iPad, the second screen of whatever choice, because you're going to be watching the Eagles. You're going to be watching the Phillies. You're going to be peeking in on the Flyers. This is why having 3 TVs is very useful, Matty B. These are the days it's made for, my friend. The attacking third is not on, correct?
No, we're going to move the attacking third to Monday. And, of course, I got the game 4 in the wrong spot on Friday. So we're moving the attacking third to Monday. Birds Blast will be seen. The Gridiron will be seen. And then we're going to throw in the Phillies at 9 o'clock, hopefully for a post-game show, win. And then the Flyers, Panthers, Eagles, Giants. Icarus doesn't got nothing on me. I want to see if we can fly close to the sun and not get burnt. This is a tester here. So the way the windows,
nothing tests your anniversary like
exactly. I mean, we just celebrated our first
back post game shows plus everything else.
But there
I mean,
is a window
has to
for
be
all
the
of
most
this.
live It's a Wrap sports shows in one 24-hour period, right? I mean, technically, you count right now.
Yeah, I guess because we're in Thursday.
Two Phillies post, that means you get double the Al in 24 hours. Phillies post games. Either you're gonna have really happy Al, who's going to be excited, or you're gonna have really angry Al, who's going to be burning it all down. So, guys, tune in to find out which Al's going to be.
Put that back up real quick. That schedule. I just want to let everybody know who you're going to see. So obviously, it's going to be me on the Birds Blast by myself. Kyle will not be there. He's going out of town. Then you got the Pittsburgh guys doing the Gridiron Weekly. And then you're going to have Al doing Fighting's Final. I'm doing the Clear the Ice Panthers game. And Mike Lauro is going to do Eagles Giants. I don't know where the hell Pat's at. Pat's taking the night off, I guess. You know, he's
That'd be funny that we have 67 programs and Pat Bernard's not on one of them.
He's not on one of them right now. Now he's going to weasel his way into one of them.
I was going to say, we can't do one program a day without having him weasel his way into something. So
yeah,
I guess time will tell with that one. Don't see him like Pat. He was like, I'll be doing the post game show. You see like Pat going,
yes. I don't know how that worked out. Well, I expect Pat to possibly jump on the Birds flyby. I think he might show up there if he's going to show up anywhere.
Does he know the Eagles do play tomorrow?
Yeah, I think he does. I'm pretty sure he does. I don't know. That's Pat. I don't know what he knows, but I know he was very amicable about moving the attacking third. And of course, there is no final word tomorrow. Matter of fact, you won't see me again till Sunday on the final word, but for obvious reasons. So this is what October brings, Al, and this is what makes October.
I always
nothing
say October
like it.
And April.
But October's a different level. Always.
October's a different level because you got the Eagles at their height.
All four.
You got Red October. If the Phillies are, if all four are going, the Phillies are in the postseason.
Yep.
The start of the Sixers and the start of the Flyers. Now, it's the opposite in April because if the Sixers are in the playoffs and if the Flyers somehow make the playoffs, and then you got the start of the Phillies, and you have the draft.
Yeah.
You have the NFL. You have all the NFL free agency draft, all that stuff going on. So that does play a factor in it. So it does, those things. It makes it crazy. But yes, October, from anybody who covers all four sports, October is the month that you love and dread all at the same time because you'd be like, oh, okay, I have to do oh, wait a minute, there's that. I forgot about that. Oh shit, there's that. Oh yeah. I remember doing those schedules, man. It is not fun. You're like, oh shit, I gotta get somebody for that. But speaking of, and I did mention this earlier, I want to kind of bring it back up. And I don't often do this, but I gotta give Matty B his kudos. Yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of the It's a Wrap Sports Network, which Matty did on the fly. I mean, literally put it together with a moment's notice. Not as a surprise to anybody. I think I said that to you in a text message the other day. I'm not surprised that you were able to put it together like that you were able to find get guys to work with you, able to put the organizational stuff together. But, I also know what it's like to do it, speaking from a tiny bit of experience in my lifetime. So I give you kudos, man, because it isn't easy. And a lot of times people who try to do what you do and bite off what you chew, they choke within a few months and it's over. So congratulations to you. Congratulations on what you do. And I know, again, what you do is a thankless job. And I'm thanking you and giving you kudos because, I know we break each other's stones, but all seriousness, I respect you a ton, bro.
No, absolutely. Thank you very much. And, complete transparency. Obviously, the EOP situation was not anything we all expected. And again, we've talked this thousands of hours. There's no blame on anybody about that. But moving forward the It's a Wrap Sports Network was always supposed to be the It's a Wrap with Matty B. That was the name of the show I was going to do. I wasn't going to do a network.
It all starts that way.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden I was like, what the hell? I'll just do a network. And shout way out to Sal G, who's no longer, of course, with us. But Sal, who joined at the end of EOP and then followed me. It was me and Sal for the first 5 months of this network. And Sal bit off a lot. And, I'll always have a special place in my heart for Sal. And if he ever decides he wants to get back in the game, he knows where he can come.
Yeah. I've been a Sal a very long time, since I was a little kid. Yeah, stand-up human being. Stand-up human
Yeah,
being.
it really is. Really a good guy. But maybe that was probably why ultimately this didn't work out for him, because there was a lot of nastiness in this business, which I, of course, thrive on. But
it gets listen, for anybody who just follows along, and thank you guys, because I know it's late. It's 1 a.m. On a Thursday now. Most people got work in the morning and all that stuff. But yeah, for anybody who knows it, it's like high school,
yeah,
doing what we do. Like the big guys, they call them the jocks, who've done this and kind of got it to the what I call the pinnacle or the higher point. They look down on guys like us. And then there's people who do what we do, or try, at least I should say, try to do what this is, and they make these narratives up in their head that there's some sort of schoolyard battle, like throwdown, that's going to happen, and just don't know how to stay in their lane, and it can become very cumbersome.
Yeah, very personal too.
Yeah, it gets. Well, here's the thing: is if you're not tweeting, if you're not putting graphics up, if you're not putting your points out, if you're not putting live shows out, you're not putting TikToks and streams and reels and all that stuff out, you die. And that's the thing, is like anytime you do what we do, okay, anytime you do what we do, when you take a breath and go, oh, I could take a break, it floods back to you of like, oh shit, there's about 12 other things I could do right now. And trust me, I did it for 8 years. It's a lot.
And to that, the what I learned from you in our time together, I was the EOP for 3 years, and you brought me on with a text message, and that was it. And then all of a sudden we developed this relationship. So everything I've learned about, and I'm not even doing a fraction of what you did over the EOP. I'm not even prepared to jump that deep into it yet. And I know I'm getting
before you run, bro. Walk before you run.
So what but everything I've learned from you. So thank you to you for providing, and then also thank you for gravitating over here and providing me what you do. So
well, listen, as I said, a little after I started up with you again, listen, I have this itch I love to scratch, and like it's nice to be able to do it for, to be on the other side of it a little bit. Like I don't have to be the manager. I love bouncing ideas off you, because that's what you and I always did. I did it at the EOP. I'd call you up and we'd be at 1 a.m. talking to each other, talking about different things, and vice versa now, and it's okay. And I enjoy it. There's an itch I like to scratch, and I do enjoy doing this, where I don't have to feel like if I'm not in it, like if I'm not tweeting 24 times a day, I'm not prepared for it. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate you trusting me to do what I do. So,
and who knows, there might be some news coming up here soon about potential expanded
times could change. You never know.
Yeah, and we might be talking about some of that soon. And of course, you don't get the phone calls from Pat anymore. Now I get them. So
let's not get carried away.
That's right.
Hold on. You ready for this? I'll give you this. This is mine. Where's that?
He called me twice today already.
Yeah, he called me. Hey, are you busy at 6:49 p.m. last night? So I just got done coaching football, bud. It's like 9 o'clock at night. So no, I still get him. Maybe not as much. You get the most, that's for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so we're growing. Hunter, listen, I repurposed my own personal YouTube page and turned it into this network, and we went from 0 subscriptions to 153 in 1 year. I'm floored by that. That's outstanding growth from the grassroots.
Real people who actually care.
153 real people.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue to move. We're going to repurpose one of our shows that we have currently. Perhaps, very soon we'll have some more to talk about one of our shows that is going to go under a little bit of a facelift, new host, stuff like that. So we'll reveal more information about that. We're also going to maybe add a new show here later on, and we're always looking for new talent. So, if you guys want to get involved, the scroll down here is our emails down there. Just hit me up or drop me a line on any of the socials, and we'll talk, because you're always out there looking for the next thing. And that's how I showed up at EOP's doorstep, and that's how all this stuff.
Listen, when Matty B reached out to me, I'll tell you guys. So just so you know, it's not it's not just, hey, I like talking about the Phillies, or hey, I really enjoy the Eagles, or hey, I know a lot about sports and I want to talk. It's time. It's you have to be prepared, because what I did with Matty B, I didn't just say yes to him. I asked him to send me a link to his, I think it was your SoundCloud or whatever at the time.
It was
Uh,
Spotify or Odyssey or something like
Spotify,
that.
Spotify,
No, Anchor was what I was doing it on.
Anchor, yeah. And I said, send it to me, and I said, okay. So two things I looked at. I listened. I'm like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. Number two, he's got the radio voice. That's good. And then number three, I looked at the consistency. And I'm like, okay, that was the selling point to me more than anything. I said consistency, because there's been a lot of people who reached out to me over the years when I was running EOP, and I'm sure to you now, who go, hey, I want to do something. And then you're like, well, what do you want to do? I don't know. Have you ever done something? No. It's not like you have to have the experience, but what you do need to know is that it's not, you spend 1 hour a week doing something if you do one show. There's preparation, different things that go along, promotion, getting your name out there, tweeting, all that stuff. All that stuff becomes important. So if you want to, and if you want to sign up, reach out to Matty B. But you will be vetted. And this is kind of like my warning to you. It's not easy. So
no,
if you're looking for like just something fun to do with my buddies once a week, it's just not going to work out. No, trust me, I had guys like that on my network and they were gone. It had to go.
To your point, though, getting behind the microphone, that's the end state. That's the after all the hard work. That's the easy part, that you're supposed to get behind the microphone and do the show. But there's a whole lead up to that, as you said, and the time aspect. I learned that too. You got to be consistent. You got to be frequent, and you have a responsibility to the public, your fans, your viewers, your sponsors. You have responsibilities to all those people to present the product that you say you're going to present. And if after a month or two you don't have that anymore, I don't want you.
Because the moment you go, I'm going to take tonight off just because I don't feel like doing it. It's one thing that turns into a week. Life gets in your way. That's why I had to kind of stop doing what I do. Life got my way. I had to make tough choices. The choices were made. That was all it was. For anybody who put out there was some negativity floating around the ether that something else occurred, which it didn't. I still have great relationships with everybody. I support everybody who's done their own ventures from It's a Wrap and beyond. I still support EOP, follow everything that Joey's doing over there, everything. But my point is like, if you sit there, and it's one thing if you go, like we just talked about, we have a whole schedule of things tomorrow. So you're going to lose a show somewhere that maybe isn't as important. Like not that It's a Wrap or the Final Word with Matty B is not important, but you have so much other broadcasting to do. It's not worth squeezing it in. You push it down to another night. That makes sense. But the moment you go, you know what, I just don't feel like doing it tonight. That's when you just don't have it. And it's the commitment thing. Commitment, and then go from there.
Because it does start feeling. I know everyone says, well, this ain't a job for me. I love this stuff. Well, then you're not doing it right, because it's going to start feeling like a job, because you're going to have to spend a lot of time doing it. And when I say that, I mean it in a positive way, not like, oh, it's a job. No, but it does have that job commitment to it. You got to be there when you say you're there. You got to provide them what you say you're going to provide them, and you got to do it frequently. And that's when it becomes
it's like being a father and a husband. That's the best way I explain it. Like, you're committed to them. Your eyes aren't catching the eyes of another show or doing something else. You're not jumping around. You're nurturing it, and you're growing it, and you're there for it, even when you're too tired to get up off the couch or too tired to pull yourself out of bed. It's that, and you still do it, because trust me, there's times I'm like, you know what? When I was doing EOP, I said, I'm going home from work tonight. I'm exhausted. I'm going to get to bed by like 10:30, 11 o'clock at the latest, and get some rest. And then 3 a.m. rolls around, and I'm not doing that at all.
Yeah, and you ain't kidding about the damn late nights, man. I get off the air around 11 o'clock, and I'm up to about 1 a.m. Doing other stuff with the network. No, you ain't kidding, but it's been a blast. I've enjoyed it. And I'm glad I've been able to bring on EOP people that I've worked with in the past. And again, thanks to you, Pat, Mike, Steve, Sal, all the guys that have come over here and have started this journey with me. And as I said, we're going to grow. there's some things coming down, and probably in about a month, we're gonna debut something new, and we're gonna have continue to grow and have some fun. So stay with us and tell a friend.
Yeah. All right, guys. Other than that, like we said, Phillies stay off the sweep, and they're at it again tomorrow. Hopefully, win in LA and bring it back to CBP. Fingers crossed is the best we can do right now. They have to have it. It's all about the Phillies. The Phillies have not been the worst team. That's what I said to you earlier. They've beaten themselves more often than the other way around. So they have to keep it up. So that's your bottom line for the night. Broad Street bottom line is the Phillies have to be the better team and play as they are the better team to stay off the very scary 1-9 Dodgers. So other than that, he's Matty B. I'm Big Al. This was the Fightins final. Phillies win it. Guys, have a great one. We will see you a lot.
Yes, we will in a few hours.
Tomorrow or later today.